The year is 1962, and the Third World War is upon us. Russia and the United States are about to see the beginnings of nuclear Armageddon and the rise in the next age of evolution? Today we review X-Men First Class on Movieology. X-Men First Class follows the origin stories of some of the most prominent heroes and villains in the comic book franchise. First Class centers primarily on young Eric Lenscher, a Polish Jew fallen victim to Nazi experimentation during World War II, and Charles Xavier, a privileged Oxford graduate who's made human mutation his passionate academic study. Caught in the diabolical scheming of the mutant Sebastian Shaw, the United States and Russia are under the false accusation that the other nation's military forces are preparing nuclear attacks. It is up to the CIA and their new band of X-Men to thwart Sebastian and end the war before it starts. Xavier teaches skillful mutants to enhance their strengths in order to give Sebastian a taste of his own super-duper medicine. Do the X-Men save us all from decimation in the midst of the Cold War? I guess only the history books know the answer. X-Men First Class stars James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Kevin Bacon, and was directed by Matthew Vaughn. Welcome to Movieology, Darnell's School for Gifted Youngsters. This is your course for learning the spectacular world of film from the bedrock of biblical truth. I'm your professor of movie worldviews, Joseph Darnell. This class is officially called to order. The first chapter in your textbooks is on the dualistic moral standard found in the worldview of the theory of evolution. So get your thinking helmets on and we'll dive right in. Everything I just said is a reference to something in the movie. First off, let me say that the First Class, well, the movie First Class, has the budget, cast, special effects, and epic scale action to win over most of the audience's favor. To add to the tried and true superhero elements of the X-Men franchise, this film is set as historical fiction to give it extra gravitas. This is nothing new to comic book superhero stories. For instance, Superman dragged Adolf Hitler to America during World War II to face the music. And there is Captain America, which we shall see is in another movie this summer, where he is a World War II U.S. military super soldier. The list goes on with the intermingling of comic book superheroes and history. Of course, there's practically nothing historically accurate in X-Men First Class, but their costumes, set designs, and the fact that there was almost a war in 1962. The X-Men mythos have resonated with each new generation since their inception. Fans get it that they share this human spirit with these not-so-human people. It's exciting to imagine that with a few spontaneous errors in our genetic code, we might have extremely beneficial abilities. To add to this, X-Men has always been compelling entertainment for people that care about current events, as they often parallel issues found in the real world. On top of all this, many minorities find camaraderie with the mutants as they see how they have similar angst, looking for where they fit in with the culture. First Class keeps up with this standard X-Men theme of, we're different and proud of it. This is heavily tied to a side plot in the movie. Of course, this message is interpretive for the audience. Everyone from Christians to homosexuals to even third graders can see how they are different from the majority of the global population. And it's comforting to think that it's okay to be different and excel in your uniqueness. Not being an X-Men fan myself, I was skeptical about this film before I watched it. I'm nearly a complete stranger to the saga. I saw the other X-Men movies only once and I hardly remember what I thought of them, except that I grew weary of their mutant/evolutionistic preachiness. First Class is a great source of epic visual entertainment, and at the same time, it is riddled with popular evolutionary philosophy no different than the previous X-Men films. First Class doesn't get more inspirational than, just believe in yourself, and we're all good deep down, and I can do all things through my special abilities that strengthen me. But the foremost theme of First Class is one of the complete essence of living consistently with evolutionary assumptions. We wouldn't have X-Men as we know them if it weren't for evolution. All aspects of morality, philosophy, and science are limitedly consistent with the logical paradigm the evolutionary worldview assumes. If there is no God, we are all basically materialists, and there is no reason we shouldn't objectify everything. People should do what is right in their own eyes, that which is coded in our genes or impressed upon us through experience. There is no higher power defining morality or meaning in life. That code in our genes is purely a cosmic accident with no inherent meaning. But since the storytellers of the X-Men franchise are very clever people, they pit good evolutionists against bad evolutionists in this storyline. The protagonist Xavier is a humble and confident neo-Darwinian that believes we best serve the species' progression through peace and cooperation between the lesser and greater of the human race. Xavier believes in nurturing evolutionary development, as opposed to the original Darwinian approach of survival of the fittest. It shouldn't be a dog-eat-dog world as far as Xavier is concerned. But living more consistently with the evolutionary foundation is the rest of the regular humans and mutants of the story. Eric Lenscher, who becomes the great and terrible Magneto during the film, believes that the most advanced of the species should call all shots. Peace is a great thing if it's obtainable, but when it's not, Eric is ready to lead the charge to wipe out the regular humans or mutants alike that disagree with his worldview. Magneto thinks mutants are special and they should lead the cause of the human species to obtain biological perfection. Thus, it's necessary at times for the advancement of the human race to wipe out all these lesser humans that bring the evolutionary process to a halt. Now, you're going to find that on page 117. This is what Lenscher learned from Nazi brainwashing as an adolescent. We'll pick up with these thoughts after we take a moment to thank our sponsor. American Vision has been dedicated to restoring America's biblical foundation since 1978. They have invaluable educational resources on a variety of topics, including history, apologetics, eschatology, and worldview. No one should go without their wealth of accessible solutions to cultural and theological issues. As a Movieology fan, you are treated to 10% off all purchases at AmericanVision.com when you use the coupon code Hollywood during checkout. Shop on their online store at AmericanVision.com. The villains of the X-Men franchise live consistently with the evolutionary worldview. Since there are no absolutes, mankind decides for itself what is right, uninhibited by a higher power. Who's to say that anyone is wrong when there is no compass to define what's right? Sorry for the excessive air quotes. Xavier, who is a neo-Darwinian, doesn't accept other mutants' rational justification for evolutionary despotism. He makes for a weak protagonist because he espouses the same worldview but doesn't live consistently with it. So Xavier wants to define morality, and only when immorality bothers his conscience. This way, he has evolution to evade God and live the way he chooses. Inevitably, this allows for moral ambiguity and demonstrates that the villains of the X-Men are in the right as far as the premises are concerned.
Join me and live like kings and queens.
I give X-Men First Class 3.5 stars out of 5. It's worth watching if you want to see the evolutionary worldview in practice. First Class is entertaining, but not mind-blowing. Ultimately, First Class demonstrates how potent and appealing it is to live consistently with one's worldview. As a Christian, it encourages me to live consistently with the biblical worldview and not muddy it down by picking and choosing a hodgepodge of worldview beliefs that are irreconcilable with each other. On another note, First Class is not kid-friendly, and I recommend you review it for content before seeing it. So what do you think? Does Charles Xavier have a rational basis for his morality? Or is Eric Lenscher the real hero if one assumes evolution seriously? Give us your thoughts in a comment. Remember to watch Movieology on our website, movieology.tv, the source for worldview enthusiast news, reviews, and discussion of all things film. Subscribe to Movieology on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, sign up to Movieology's free e-newsletter on our website, and do us a favor, share Movieology with your friends and family that like to discuss movies. That is all of your homework for this week. I'm Joseph Darnell. Until next time, Thank you for watching Movieology. They have invaluable educational resources on a variety. Let's try this over again. To add to the tried and true superhero. The coin in 3 seconds, his mom is saying, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay." And you know, whenever a character in a movie says it's okay, it's not okay. You didn't turn your homework today. Okay. No, we good. I give X-Men 3 class. No. We just discovered we can get air conditioning in the studio room. Only it's on that side of the room, behind the camera. It's basically keeping the corner of the studio we don't use air conditioned. I wish this room would just evolve. Give us some more air conditioning. Or maybe if I could spontaneously evolve right now to have a regulatory system of air conditioning, that would be great. That'd be my superpower. If I could just regulate my body temperature so I'd always feel good in any kind of climate, that'd be like the best, that'd be the best superpower ever.